गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनारांजना यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनारांजना यमुना तेरा वनचारी यमुना तेरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव राधे जय ललिता विशाखा जय राधे श्याम ललिता विशाखा जय राधे श्याम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय वृंदावन राम जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताई गौर सीतानाथ प्रेमानंदे। जय नित्य लीला प्रविष्टों विष्णुपाद परमहंस परकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर कृष्ण कृपामूर्ति अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। जय नित्य लीला प्रविष्टों विष्णुपाद परमहंस परकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शिला भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद महाराज की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्तवृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रीधर ठाकुर की प्रेम से गौ श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा से अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिर गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि से वृंदावन धाम की जय। मथा धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम से जगन्नाथ धाम की जय। श्री मायापुर नदीप धाम की जय। श्री गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। योग धाम हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता यथारूप की जय। निताई गौर सीतानाथ प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled. All glories to Guru and Gaurang ki jai. गुरुवे गौर चंद्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं। श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं सावधूतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां सगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत श्री राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। रप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभिश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नष्टे। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोप कुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानंद माधवं श्रीगुरुदीनतारणं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। हरे कृष्णा। So, welcome everyone in this evening session of Bhagavad Gita in Sri Krishna Balaram Mandir. So today we are going to read from Bhagavad Gita chapter 7, chapter entitled Knowledge of the Absolute. And now we are on the verge of this chapter, at the end of this chapter. Today we are going to read 7.29. So this chapter has total 30 verses. How many? 30. And 30 verses. How many verses spoken by Arjun? in chapters, 7 chapter, how many verses spoken by Arjuna in this chapter? Nobody knows? Huh? 1. Anybody else?
Just a guess, Prabhu. No.
Ah?
All Krishna only. Just a guess.
one slok bolega, slok number 4.
None. 0. Yes. In this chapter, only Krishna has spoken. Why? Because in the first verse, what Krishna said, Maya saktam anapartha yogam yunjanmadashraya asakshayam samagram mam yatha gyasyasi tachrunu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, now hear, O son of Pratha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. So, hear attentively. So, Arjuna, in this chapter, he has not asked any question. So, in this chapter, now we will go to read this 29th verse. So repeat after me. jarā-maraṇa-mokṣāya māṁ āśritya yatanti ye te brahma tad viduḥ kṛtsnam adhyātmam karma cākhilam jarā-maraṇa-mokṣāya māṁ āśritya yatanti ye te brahma tad viduḥ kṛtsnam adhyātmam karma cākhilam. Please repeat. jarā-maraṇa-mokṣāya māṁ āśritya yatanti ye te brahma tad viduḥ kṛtsnam adhyātmam karma cākhilam. Mokṣāya
jarā-maraṇa-mokṣāya yatanti brahma tad viduḥ kṛtsnam adhyātmam karma cākhilam jarā-maraṇa-mokṣāya te brahma tad viduḥ kṛtsnam adhyātmam karma cākhilam
jarā-maraṇa-mokṣāya māṁ āśritya yatanti ye te brahma tad viduḥ kṛtsnam adhyātmam karma cākhilam. Okay, word to word meaning. Jara, from old age. Marana, and death. Mokṣāya, for the purpose of liberation. Mam, me. Āśritya, taking shelter of. Yatanti, and ever. Ye, all those who. They, such persons. Brahma, Brahman. Tat, actually that. Viduḥ, they know. kṛtsnam, everything. Adhyātmam, transcendental. Karma, activities. Cha, also. Akhilam, entirely. Meaning and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. Please repeat after me. Intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. Purport. Birth, death, old age and diseases affect this material body but not the spiritual body. There is no birth, death, old age and disease for the spiritual body. So one who attains a spiritual body becomes one of the associates of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and engages in eternal devotional service is really liberated. Ahaṁ brahmāsmi, I am a spirit. It is said that one should understand that he is Brahman, spirit soul. This Brahman conception of life is also in devotional service. As described in this verse, the pure devotees are transcendentally situated on the Brahman platform and they know everything about transcendental activities. 4 kinds of impure devotees who engage themselves in the transcendental service of the Lord achieve their respective goals, and by the grace of the Supreme Lord, when they are fully Krishna conscious, they actually enjoy spiritual association with the Supreme Lord. But those who are worshippers of demigods never reach the Supreme Lord in His supreme planet. Even the less intelligent Brahman realized persons cannot reach the supreme planet of Krishna known as Goloka Vrindavana. Only persons who perform activities in Krishna consciousness, mam āśritya, are actually entitled to be called Brahman because they are actually endeavoring to reach the Krishna planet. Such persons have no misgivings about Krishna and thus they are factually Brahman. Those who are engaged in worshipping the form or archa of the Lord or who are engaged in meditation on the Lord simply for liberation from material bondage also know by the grace of the Lord the purports of Brahman, Adhibhuta, etc. as explained by the Lord in the next chapter. So here the purport ends of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So in this chapter, so this is chapter in the last chapter verses. This is from 26 to 30th 5 verses. These 5 verses belongs to delusion by Maya to devotion to Krishna. If we go back on the 26th verse, Krishna speaks, Vedaham samtitani vartmanani cha arjuna bhavishyavani cha bhutani mam tu vedna kashana. Krishna said, I know everything that has happened in the past. All that is happening in the present, O Arjuna, and all things in the future, I know all living entities. I know all living entities, but no one knows me. Krishna has declared, no one knows me, and I know everyone, past, present, and future. Why no one knows Krishna? Because of delusion and dualities of dishonor and honor, miseries and happiness, women and men, good and bad, pleasure and pain, etc. So due to the dualities, the living beings cannot understand Krishna. So in the next verse, it is said, what it is said, Ichha dvesha samuthena dvanda mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa. All living entities are born into delusion, sammoham, at the beginning of creation and are bewildered by dualities, dvanda mohena, totally bewildered by dualities arisen from the desire. Desire means lust and hatred, dvesha. Dvesha means anger, continuing from the previous life. So these dualities, due to these dualities, the jiva, the living beings, cannot understand Krishna, cannot know him. So then what to do? Then in the next verse, how to understand Krishna? Then in 28th verse, and Krishna is saying, Yesham to antagata papam jananam punya karmanam te dvanda moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridvata. One whose sins are eradicated, one who acted piously in previous and present lives, one who is freed from the dualities of delusion, engages in my service with determination. This is the last 28th verse, which was here taken by, yesterday taken. Yesham tva antagatam papam jananam punya karmanam tve dvanda moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridvita. So, bhajante mam dridvita means, that they engage themselves in my service with determination. So, what will happen to them? What will we gain? Why they are going to engage in your service with the full determination? What they will get? What will happen to them? This is the question may come in the mind of Arjuna, or Arjuna is thinking about that. If someone is determined and practicing the devotional service to the Krishna, then what will happen to them? So today's verse is the answer of the previous verse. So today's verse is, those who are practicing devotional service with determination, then what will happen? Jarā-maraṇa-mokṣāya. Mam āśritya yatanti ye te brahma tad viduḥ kṛtsnam adhyātmaṁ cākhilam. Intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service, they are actually Brahman, because they entirely know everything about transcendental activity. Because those who are practicing devotional service, their aim is, their goal is to jarā-maraṇa-mokṣāya, mokṣāya, the liberation from the old age and death. This is the today's verse which we have taken here. So in the first line, it is said, jarā-maraṇa. Jara means old age and maranam is death. Mam āśritya means we have to take first the shelter of Krishna. Without taking shelter, if you are endeavoring for the liberation, so that is not possible. So taking shelter, Krishna is saying, Mam āśritya. So first we have to take the shelter of Krishna, and not only we have to take shelter, simultaneously we have to endeavor. So both things will go simultaneously. jarā-maraṇa-mokṣāya mam āśritya yatanti ye te brahma tad viduḥ. Brahm is not Brahman. The general people are confused. What is Brahma and what is Brahman? Here it is not saying Brahman. The four varnas, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. That is not here. Meaning, Brahma means spiritual. Ahaṁ brahmāsmi. I am a spirit. Te Brahm means, Ahaṁ brahmāsmi means I am a spirit, and Te Brahm means the supreme Brahma, Param Brahma. Te Brahm. Te Brahm tad viduḥ. Tad viduḥ means they know. What they know? To the Supreme God. They know. Who knows? Those are taken the shelter. Krishna says, those who have taken the shelter of me and they are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death. And who can do that? Yesham to antagatam papam jananam punya karmanam te dvanda moha nirmukta bhajante mam devata. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion. And they engage themselves in my service with the determination. Now it's clear? Today's verse. So, in this verse, Prabhupada is telling, birth, death, old age and diseases affect this material body, but not the spiritual body. So, people in general, they don't know. There is also a spiritual world, and those who are living there, they are having the spiritual bodies. There is the dualities in this world also. There is a birth, so there is death also. Everything. There are dualities, day and night. Day and night, birth and death, profit and loss, everything, there is dualities. and there is a matter and there is a spirit. Our existence is based on both, on the matter and the spirit. Our body is material and we are spiritual. The combination of matter and spirit, this is what? This is the dualities. This is the cause of bondage. This is the cause of sufferings. Krishna has the spiritual body. He is not the material body. One reason Krishna is saying, Vedaham samtitani. I know the past of every living being. I know the present and the future. So one reason is that Krishna never changes his body. Krishna never changes his body. But our body is changing every moment. Every moment we are changing our body. And after death, we will take the birth also. New body. So, because Krishna has no material body, and when we practice the devotional service with the determination to the Supreme Lord, we will be eligible to get the spiritual body. We will be entitled to get the spiritual body. Prabhupada gives the wonderful example. Just like when if one put the iron rod in the fire for few hours, and after that when we bring it out, what will happen to the rod? All the qualities of the fire will come in the iron rod. The iron rod will absorb all the qualities of the fire. In the same way, when the living beings, when they practice the devotional service, when they associate with the Krishna, the qualities of the Krishna will come in the living entities. Because Krishna's name, Krishna's form, they are not separate, they are same potency. When we do kirtan, when we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the potency of Krishna, the qualities of Krishna will automatically come in the living beings. So in this, so here in the verse, Prabhupada is saying intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age. So we have two bodies, not one. One body is the gross body, which is made of 5 elements. What are the 5 elements? Yes, 5 elements. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. And we have also one subtle body, mind, intelligence and ego. Okay. So this subtle body it will purify. It will first purify. When we come in the contact of Krishna, our mind will purified. our intelligence will purify it. One is real intelligence and one is so-called intelligence or the material intelligence. And in the same way, there is a ego, there is a false ego, and there is a real ego. So this subtle body, this will purify it when we come in the contact of the Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So now we will, Prabhupada is saying some very important lectures on this, so we will go through it. So Prabhupada is saying about the intelligence. Real intelligence means linking with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When this is done, the Supreme Personality of Godhead from within gives one the real intelligence by which one can return home back to Godhead. So here Prabhupada is explaining real intelligence means linking with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When this is done, the Supreme Personality of Godhead from within gives one the real intelligence by which one can return home back to Godhead. Intelligence in the material world is described in this verse as pramada. Pramada because in material existence the living entity falsely claims things to be his. This is called pramada. He thinks, I am the monarch of all I survey. This is ignorance. Actually, nothing belongs to him. Even the body and the senses do not belong to him, for they are given to him by the grace of the Lord to satisfy his different propensities through the material energy. Nothing actually belongs to the living entity, but he becomes mad after everything claiming, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. This is called illusion. Nothing belongs to the living entity, but he claims that everything belongs to him. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommends that this false intelligence, the one is real intelligence and one is false intelligence. One is real ego and one is false ego. And one is pure mind and one is impure mind. So the subtle body, which is consisting of three elements, mind, intelligence and ego, it can be the part of the soul when it is purified. The intelligence becomes real intelligence, the ego becomes the real ego, and the mind becomes the pure mind. So here, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommends that this false intelligence be purified, cheto darpan marjanam. When the mirror of intelligence is polished, the real activities of the living entity begin. This means that when a person comes to the platform of Krishna consciousness, his real intelligence acts. At that time, he knows that everything belongs to Krishna and nothing belongs to him. When he comes on the platform of the real intelligence, then he will realize that everything belongs to Krishna, nothing belongs to me. Not even this my body. This is all the property of the Krishna. As long as one thinks that everything belongs to him, he is in material consciousness. And when he knows perfectly that everything belongs to Krishna, he is in Krishna consciousness. So, by Krishna consciousness, we can transcend this material consciousness of different interest. We have no other interest except realization of ourselves. But because due to our ignorance, we have created our different interest and we are committing sins and breaking the laws of nature every day. And therefore, we are gradually by and by becoming more and more entangled in this material nature. So the Lord says that one who has surpassed this material nature and ignorance, they can become free from this conception of duality, bhajante mam, and becomes a perfect devotee of myself. That means, in the other words, one who becomes perfectly Krishna consciousness, he becomes liberated from this conception of duality or illusion of duality. He becomes a perfect man. jarā-maraṇa-mokṣāya mam āśritya yatanti ye te brahma tad viduḥ kṛtsnam adhyātmaṁ cākhilam. So, this is necessary for you to become Krishna consciousness, to adopt this life of Krishna consciousness. Why? Because jarā-maraṇa-mokṣāya. In order to get out of the miseries of jara, jara means old age. To get out the miseries of the old age. Marana means death. Due to ignorance, we forget the miseries of the death, the miseries of the invalidity or old age. We think now we are young. Now we are young woman. Oh, we don't care for what is old age or what is death. Let us enjoy. We forget, but a man who is not in ignorance, he has always in his view that this material life is full of miseries because there is birth, there is death, there is old age, and there is disease. So, whatever we are thinking and whatever we are desiring, Bhagavatam says, akama sarv kamova moksha kama udarati tivrena bhakti yogena yajita purusham param. Whether one desires everything or nothing, desires to merge into the existence of the Lord, he is intelligent only if he worship Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by rendering transcendental loving service. Now in the verse 7.16 in this chapter, there are Krishna has told the four impure devotees who are impure, four impure devotees. Chaturvida bhajante mam, jana sukirtano arjuna, arto jigyasu artharthi jnani cha pratishiva. Oh, best among the Bharatas, four kinds of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me, the distressed, the desirer of the wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for the knowledge of the Absolute. So these are the four impure devotees, and whatever stage we are having, we are the desire of the wealth, or we are in the distress, akama sar kamova moksha kama udarati tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. So here is an example given by the Prabhupada. Prabhupada is saying, Kashyap Muni saw that his wife Aditi had some material desires for the welfare of her sons, but still he advised her to render devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, everyone regardless of whether he is a kami, jnani, yogi or bhakta, should be invariably take shelter of the lotus feet of the Vasudeva and render transcendental loving service unto him, so that all his desires will be duly fulfilled, or our desires will be purified. Today we are not purified, but when we come in the contact, when we associate with the Supreme, then gradually we will become purified. Either we are on any stage. The kama sarvkamo va moksha kama udarati tivrena bhakti yogena jeta purusha. So, Krishna is so merciful to the living entities. So, when Kashyap Muni saw that his wife Aditi had some material desires for the welfare of her sons, but still he advised her to render devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, everyone, regardless of whether he is a kami, jnani, yogi or bhakta, should invariably take shelter of the lotus feet of the Vasudeva and render transcendental loving service unto him, so that all his desires will be duly fulfilled. Krishna is dina anukampana. He is very merciful to everyone. Therefore, if one wants to fulfill his material desires, Krishna helps him. He wants to fulfill his material desires, Krishna will help him. Of course, sometime if a devotee is very sincere, the Lord, as a special favor to him, results to fulfill his material desires and directly blesses him with pure, unalloyed devotional service. It is said in Chaitanya Charitamrita. What? Krishna kahe, ami bhaje, mange vishaya sukha. This is a very famous verse of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna kahe, ami bhaje, मांगे विषया सुख, अमृत छाड़ी विष मांगे ए बड़ा मूर्ख. आमी विघ्न ए मूर्ख विषय के ना दीवा, स्वचरण अमृत दिया विषय भुलाइबा. What is the meaning? Krishna says, if one engages in my transcendental loving service, but at the same time he wants the opulence of material enjoyment. Both things simultaneously. If one engages in my transcendental loving service and same time he wants opulence of material enjoyment, then what Krishna says? He is very, very foolish. Very, very foolish. Indeed, he is just like a person who gives up the ambrosia. Ambrosia means nectar. Who gives up the nectar to drink poison. He wants to drink poison. He don't want to drink nectar. Since I am very intelligent, Krishna says he is foolish. But I am not foolish, Krishna saying. I am intelligent. Why should I give this fool material? So, he is just like a person who gives up the nectar to drink poison. Since I am very intelligent, why should I give this fool material prosperity? Instead, I shall induce him to take the nectar of the shelter of my lotus feet and make him forget illusory material enjoyment. I will make him forget. He will forget all this material opulence, his desires, to get this material desires. When we come in the contact of the Krishna, so Krishna will see what is required for us. He don't want to give us the things which we desire. He will not fulfill our desires. He will fulfill what is important for us, what is beneficial for us. So this is all the demigods. They will not think about that, what is beneficial for us. They will award us all that things when we do some austerities for the demigods, whether it is good for us or if it is not good. So this is the difference when we are worshipping the Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When we worship the Krishna, there is no reaction. There is no reaction. And when we are taking the shelter of the demigods, or we want to merge in the effulgence of the Supreme, so that is very difficult task to receive the Golok planet. Not possible. So in any case or in any stage, we have to take the shelter of Guru and Gauranga. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Sitanath Premanande, Hari Hari Bo. So any question, any comment? Okay, thank you very much for hearing the class today. Yes, Prabhu?
Truly the kama, sarvakama words and the 10th offense to maintain material desires even after hearing so many instructions on subject matter. So a devotee will feel guilty if he keeps material desires, but still desires are there. So then how we can also...
When anybody comes in the contact of the Krishna or we enter in the devotional life, first of all, when we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, first on the beginning stage, we chant offensively. First we chant offensively. Offensively, if you chant offensively on the beginning stage regularly, then that offensive chanting will also purify us. This is the Krishna's mercy. If we have so many desires and we are chanting, there is no reaction. If you are demanding Krishna, there is no reaction. Krishna has fulfilled the demands of Dhruva Maharaj. He has given him all opulence. So Krishna sees what we have, what we are eligible for. Person to person, Krishna examine. Not there is a one thumb rule. So Krishna is just like, Krishna is a person. Krishna is our Father. He knows what we require. Ishvara sarvbhutanam hirdeshu adnutishati. Krishna is sitting in our hearts. Krishna knows everything about us. If you are chanting and we are thinking about the opulence, but we are associating with the Supreme, who is totally pure, and gradually we will become, all these material desires will be vanished. Okay? Anything else? Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhagavad Gita yatha रूप की जय. निताई गौर